Okay, bonjour year 10, it's Mr. Cullerton here. First of all, a big well done on all the hard work that you've done so far with Mrs. Hillier, with your online learning. Now I've taken over because it looks like it's probably going to be me taking you when we get back to school. So today we're going to continue on the theme of being healthy and so on, and looking at negatives. So today we're hoping to form a negative and then going to discuss whether we're healthy or not and giving reasons. Now the reason for that is because the more you can say and the more you can justify what you're saying at GCSE, the better your grades are going to be. That's both in writing and in speaking. So today's date is lundi le 15 juin and it's negatives. Okay, so to begin, we've got two sentences in English. I smoke, being je fume, and I eat, je mange. Let's have a little think, engage your brains. How would you make those into a negative so that it's I don't smoke, I don't eat? You should find that your answers are je ne fume pas, I don't smoke, and je ne mange pas, I don't eat. The reason I've underlined ne and pas is because they come together. They're always in a pair, and they are effectively don't in this sentence. They're really, really important that when you're using negatives, you include both the ne and the pas. Otherwise, it will not be accurate. Now, there is more to negatives than just ne pas, and however you're making your notes, it might be a good idea to start adding to it now. Here we have another set of negatives that should be used at GCSE level in your speaking, in your writing, because not only does it give you the opportunity to mix up your writing, add a bit more range to it and make it better, these types of phrases get you more marks as well. It makes your writing and your speech a little bit more interesting. So in your book, on your piece of paper, whatever you're doing, take the French down and then try and match up with the words in blue. Obviously on my screen here they're not in the right order. We do know that ne pas means not or don't, and we will go through the answers in a second. Okay, so we've got ne pas, notice the silent S, meaning not or don't. Next we've got ne que, which is the French version of only. After that we've got ne guère, meaning hardly. Ne plus, no longer. So for example, you no longer study whatever it is that you don't do anymore. You've got ne jamais, the soft J there, silent S, meaning never. And that just leaves obviously ne rien, nothing. Now, you'll notice that there are ellipses between the two words, the dot dot dot. Now that's really important because it signifies to you where those words go in the sentence. So here we go. Negatives. To make a sentence negative, you need to put ne and pas, or ne que, ne guère, whatever it is you want to use, around the verb to make a sandwich of sorts. Now, the verb is obviously a doing word. It's the main part of the sentence. It gives you all of the information that you need to know. So an example, je ne mange pas de légumes. Ne and pas is going around the word mange. Without it, that sentence would say je mange des légumes, I eat vegetables. With it, ne mange pas, I don't eat vegetables. I could say je ne mange jamais de légumes, I never eat vegetables, and that is also a negative, and it's different to ne pas, giving you a chance to get higher levels. So that basically sums up what I just said. Other negatives work in the same way and they form a sandwich around the verb. Think of ne and pas, or ne guère, ne jamais as the bread. The verb is the meat. And there they all are. Just so that you can see how this all works. Okay, so we have a quick exercise for you here. It's an exercice de grammaire, grammar exercise. And you need to make these sentences negative according to the bit in the brackets and then translate into English. So, for example, je mange beaucoup de fruits. I eat a lot of fruits. I need you to make that I don't eat a lot of fruit. And there's your translation. And do the same then for the other four sentences. Okay, so for your answers, we have je ne mange pas beaucoup de fruits, as discussed before. We then have je ne vais jamais à la gym. Je ne bois rien. Je ne fais plus de l'exercice. Je n'aime pas les légumes. So those are how to make the statements negative, what they mean then in English, because certain percentage of your grade will be translated back into the other language. Je ne mange pas beaucoup de fruits. I don't eat a lot of fruit. Je ne vais jamais à la gym. I never go to the gym. Je ne bois rien. I drink nothing. Je ne fais plus de l'exercice. I no longer do exercise. And finally, je n'aime pas les légumes. I don't like veg. You'll notice in the French, like the ne and the pas, the ne, the jamais, they always have a word in between them. They'll never go together. Just so you can check your accuracy when you're writing. Okay, so here we have a reading exercise taken from a GCSE textbook. You've got Tariq and Pauline, and they're talking to you about what they do to stay healthy, what they like and dislike when it comes to food, so on and so forth. So I'd like to have a quick read of this. You know, if you're using a dictionary, that's absolutely fine for now as we build up our confidence, but please bear in mind that when you do your actual exams in year 11, you will not be allowed a dictionary in that exam. When you're reading this, are you going to understand every word? No, and it's not a huge deal often, you know, because sometimes they help you out. As you can see, very first word there, malheureusement, you may never have seen that before. Doesn't matter, they've given it to you, unfortunately. So, you have a quick read, and then your task is to fill in the grid. So you've got Tariq and Pauline. I want you to list what they do which is good for their health and what they do which is bad for their health according to what you read here. And that can be in French, it can be English, it's completely up to you, I don't mind. Okay, now moving on. Your next exercise is is literally taken from the textbook that we use from the WJC, who will be your examining body. This is typical of something you would find on a exam paper. So it says to read the 3 healthy lunchtime choices below. You've got les salades, a snack, and les sandwiches, and choose the 5 correct sentences on the next slide. So if this was me in the exam, I'd be sitting there, I'd be reading it, I'd be thinking, right, okay, what words do I definitely know, what do I not know, what's going to cause me some difficulty. Very often you will find that words you don't know doesn't really matter because it might not be relevant anyway. So the first thing I would do is have a little read. I will do that for you. So les salades. La salade est un repas bien équilibré et on peut ajouter des fécules comme le riz, les pommes de terre ou les pâtes. Cependant, il faut faire attention aux salades déjà préparées au supermarché. Quelquefois, elles contiennent des sauces avec de la matière grasse ou de sucre. Il faut toujours lire les étiquettes. Au snack. Tous les snacks ne sont pas si mauvais pour la santé. Si tu en veux, de temps en temps, mange un hot dog ou une pizza avec du jambon et des champignons ou ananas. Bois de l'eau ou un jus de fruits et surtout évite les frites. Les sandwichs. Les baguettes sont délicieux, mais fais attention à ce qu'il y a dedans. Choisis des baguettes sans mayonnaise. Le bœuf ou le jambon avec de la salade est le meilleur pour la santé. Le fromage contient trop de matière grasse. Okay, so you've read it all, and remember they want you to choose the 5 correct sentences on the next slide. So, 10 statements about what you've just read and what you've just heard. Only 5 are true, and that's what they want you to do here, is to just identify them. Now I would be flicking back and forth between the slides. That's allowed, of course. Normally this would be on a worksheet if we were in school, you know, all on one page. Perhaps when you do this, it might be an idea to pause the video or pause the slides and flick back and forth as you need to. So when you've done that, you will find that your answers are 1, 4, 6, 7 and 8. Now these statements are correct based on what you have read here. Now, as I said before, this is absolutely typical of a GCSE style reading question. 5 marks, 5 easy marks, you could say. And if you don't know, never leave it blank. Always have a go, because you never know, you may pick up some marks even if you thought you had no clue whatsoever. Okay, great, moving on. Okay, so during your GCSE in French you will get assessed on 4 different things, obviously reading, writing, speaking and listening. This is to do with speaking. Now in the booklet we would have had a picture here. It was a woman eating an apple, basically. And what happens in the speaking exam is, for part of it you will have a photo like that, and I will be asking you a set of questions stemming from that photograph. So I've just chosen 2 here. If you can imagine a woman eating an apple, all I would ask you is something like, the first question might be, well, what do you see in the photo? I don't want to do that now. What I want to know from you first, I'd like you to either write your answers to this, or if you are able to voice record yourself and send it to me, I can mark you on your accent. The first question here is, mange-tu sainement? Do you eat healthily? If you're going to answer that, I don't want you to just say oui. Obviously we're all about the range, the detail. The more you can say, the better, even if you have to lie. So mange-tu sainement? Do you eat healthily? And finally, qu'est-ce que tu as fait hier pour garder la forme? Now this is really important because it's a different tense. Qu'est-ce que, all that means is what. Tu as fait, this is the really important bit, it's the tense, this is past tense. Qu'est-ce que tu as fait hier pour garder la forme? What did you do yesterday to stay in shape? So, as I say, you can either write this down and send it to me, or you can voice record it and upload it as a file, and I can mark it on Hub like that if you like. I don't really mind. Please don't be afraid of voice recording yourself. The only person who's going to hear this is me, right? I will not judge you. I won't make fun of you. You cannot escape the speaking exam, so it's best to practice as much as you can, so that practice makes perfect. So a reminder, mange-tu sainement? Do you eat healthily? And qu'est-ce que tu as fait hier pour garder la forme? What did you do yesterday to stay in shape? If you are looking for some ways to begin, and very often that is the hardest thing, is, well, where do I start? We've got this here called a chatty mat for GCSE photo cards. Now, the to start off column is if I was going to ask you, what can you see in the photograph, which I haven't done. But there's other stuff there that you might find useful if you're looking to, to build up your answer. And again, in school I can give you, copies of this that you can take home with you and keep in your French files so that they don't go missing or anything like that. Range of opinion phrases there down the side. It's better to stray away from je pense que all the time. If you can mix it up, then again that's going to look favourably to an examiner when they mark you, both in speaking and in writing. Okay, so when you've done your writing or you've done your speaking exercise, now this is an actual exercise. Moi, you, or me rather, am I healthy? What I want from you is between 50 and 100 words describing what you do to stay healthy. Can you lie? Yes, of course. Sometimes it's easier to lie in order to build up all of the detail. But the top tip is to just use all the vocabulary that you've had so far in this lesson, in previous online lessons in Mrs. Hillier as well. There should be more than enough there to help you get 50 words, definitely. This would be a foundation writing exercise. The most you'll ever have to write in the writing exam at foundation is 100 words. I think you're all able to do that. You can use your books, you can use dictionaries, you can use the presentations that you've already had from myself here and Mrs. Hillier. And again, send that to me. I will give you a mark as best I can, as soon as I can as well. Okay, and to finish, when you've done your writing, all I want you to do here is just to finish everything up, is to replace the images with the French words. This is good for spelling. For example, number 2, we do know what chocolate is in French, I would like to think, but there is a spelling difference in French and English, and it's little things like that that can sometimes cost you marks. So all of this work is to be completed by June the 22nd, which is a week on Monday. So you've got a good week to do it in. How you do this is up to you. You can send it to me or via email or whatever, whichever way you've been doing it up to now. As long as I get it and I can mark it and give it back to you, then we are good. And thank you for listening, and bonne chance, good luck, et au revoir.